Type the word referrals into any search engine or browse through the business section of any bookstore and you will find an overwhelming array of books and programs to choose from on the subject of referrals. This is yet another take on referrals and specifically how we help advisors broach the subject of referrals with their clients. However, unlike the majority of other referral techniques that seem to be out there, our philosophy is that referrals be positioned as a service. The images on this slide speak volumes about the needy way that many business people tend to go about keeping the subject of referrals top of mind with their clients. Like this and the many others out there, it's stating the complete obvious. I'm fairly confident that the world knows that you love referrals and the business that comes with it. Well, let me just get busy and try to find you some new referrals then, because I know it's all about you. This approach tends to appeal to the lowest common denominator. How about the gentleman in the picture that says, "Please help me," and you pick out an appreciation gift? You may think that this kind of thing would never happen in the financial services industry, but we see it fairly regularly. One of the classics we see constantly is the "I build my business in 3 ways" approach, where the client is taught to understand that if they will only send referrals, the advisor will have much more time to spend with the clients because the advisor won't have to prospect as much. I find this to be shameful and it detracts from a great relationship. So what then can you do to distance yourself as far as possible from these types of needy referral strategies, even if you've used some of them before or are using something currently that tends to speak to your needs and not the client's? The first thing we need to get our head around is that the only people that will be hearing our process for referrals is our very best clients. Secondly, this idea of referrals positioned as a service is not clever positioning, and you really need to believe that for this to work. With this approach, we let our best clients know that we will meet with absolutely anyone that is important to them. We will tell them that very thing, and will not attach any criteria to it whatsoever, such as they have to meet my minimum or anything like that. Simply put, the message is, if the person is important to you, they are important to me, and I will make the time to meet with them. Lastly, and this might be a bit of a stretch for some, try not to be attached to the results, or what you might get out of it when discussing your introduction process with your best clients. In other words, if you want them too badly, you most likely won't get them. If you don't care about the results, but you follow the process and understand that you are truly providing a service, the referrals will follow, and probably more than most. So why have an introduction process? Well, as it relates to the services you offer, the good news is that people talk about money all the time with others in their inner circle. They talk about the economy. They talk about going through some type of critical financial event. There can be all kinds of hesitation and uncertainty there, but sometimes it can be as simple as someone close to your clients that's expressing dissatisfaction with their own advisor or their own situation. If your clients are running into these situations here and there throughout the course of your relationship and potentially running into people that are important to them that may need help or that are not well served, we need to acknowledge that very real phenomenon and let our clients know that we're there to help and let them know what to do if it does happen. Really then, our process is in place and being articulated to clients for an already existing occurrence or an occurrence that will most likely happen over the course of your relationship. As for the implementation of your introduction process, it should be reviewed during every review meeting with AAA and AA clients, which is approximately twice annually as per our advocate service guidance. And this frequency should never stop for the duration of your relationship together. On that note, you need to rehearse your scripting so that it is comfortable and so that it can be delivered effortlessly, with passion, conviction, and looking your clients square in the eye. Remember, we're not asking for names. We're saying that you, as the client, will likely run into someone at some point that may need help. And should that happen, historically speaking it will, here is the process to handle that situation. The words introduction process or introducing us to others, whichever one you prefer, go right on the agenda. not buried as an item on the end, but up near the top of the agenda. This will lend importance to your introduction process, and this is key, because your clients will take this as seriously and importantly as you do. As for the scripting itself, here are the key elements. First, it's extremely likely that your new client will encounter someone at some point that may need someone like you. Next, we point out a few specific scenarios they might run into in their everyday dealings with friends and family. This helps to paint a picture of some specific examples that they're able to spot in everyday life, such as a friend who's expressing fear about the stock markets. This helps the client further understand that these are things that you could potentially help with and will help them spot examples of these very things that they might have overlooked before. Next, we let them know that if the person's important to them, then that person is important to us. We'll meet with them, period. We also go on to say that it may not be a good fit, but that is irrelevant. We will still meet with them. If it turns out not to be a good fit, we will do our utmost to point that person in a direction that is beneficial to them. Finally, the process concludes with the very simple steps that the client should follow when actually presented with a friend or family member who would like to meet with you. These simple steps will prevent the awkwardness of who is supposed to be calling who, etc. So then, all of these things, the agenda, the introduction process scripting, the regular imprinting over time, these are all wildly important to your success with this process. The caveat is, though, you must be referable in the first place for people to even take it seriously. Savvy advisors realize that their core deliverables are a great start, of course, but also that the majority of referrals can often come from client service that exceeds expectations. That is where you want to be, and that is where a large percentage of referrals come from. You'll get referrals for sure for being a good solid advisor, but if you exceed expectations, people will brag about you, and that is when your introduction process is worth its weight in gold. In that scenario, your clients will feel that they have a key to an exclusive club, and they will eagerly share that club with friends and family.